For look 5, I'm going to make a brunch outfit. So let's say Saturday brunch with your girlfriends. I'm thinking of making like a flare dress with halter neck. It's going to be quick and it's going to be gorgeous. This tutorial is going to be very short, so try and watch the entire video, okay? Don't just skip to the end to see the results. So this is the Ankara I plan on using. I'm honestly not feeling this design, but everything looks good on me. So I'm gonna get started with the patterns now. I started with a basic dress pattern. I only used the front pattern for this whole dress. So I grabbed a very curve and I drew this halter neck slant from the armhole to the neck. I cut the unneeded part off and I began to draw lines on the pattern of equal distances from each other. I cut on some of these lines and I left the rest. I didn't need that many pieces. I cut to the tip of the bodice but not all the way through. I spread them on the Ankara fabric. I connected the spread pattern pieces at the hem, then I changed the side seam to a straight line. I added seam allowances and I cut. In cutting, I decided to cut into the neck rather than add seam allowance to it. I just wanted to widen and deepen it a little bit more. And seam allowance at the hem was 1 inch and others were 1 centimeter. I placed the pattern I had cut out on the second folded Ankara piece. I marked the side seam. I drew a line at the head of the bodice, and then on the back I measured 11.5 inches and I drafted a neck all the way to the armhole. But then I decided to reduce the depth and I made the curve more of a U rather than a V. I cut out the back and together they look like this. I also cut out linings using the Ankara as patterns, but I made the linings 5 inches shorter. I quickly went on to sew the side seams of the front and the back together and to hem the dress with the top stitch. I did the same with the lining, after which I wore it over the Ankara and I made a straight long seam across the top, leaving the neck open. I used a 10-inch long elastic which I would insert at the side seams of the back. I stitched the two tips to the left and right side seams, and then on the right side of the Ankara, I top stitched a 0.75 inch room for the elastic across the back of the dress. And it looks like this. So I moved on to drafting the collar. To make my collar, I drew a straight line on paper. You can make it as long as you want the belt to be divided by 2. I drew a vertical line up here and I measured the length of the neck of the dress and it came to 7 1/4 inches. Divide this by 2 and you get 3.625 inches. So from my vertical line I would measure that, and then I drew another vertical line there. I measured 0.5 inches from the baseline and I used a pattern master to draft a curve here. I measured 5 centimeters upwards from the curve and across the entire length, and I drew a line up as well. Curve first, straight next. I measured 0.5 inches from the first line and I slanted a line from here to my lower curve. This right here is the center front of the collar. So I went ahead to cut out my collar pattern. I cut out 2 pieces of collars using the pattern unfold, and they look like this when opened up. You can tell that there's a dip at the center corresponding to the dip of the neck of the dress. I fused one with interfacing and I placed them on top of each other. I measured 3.675 inches on either side of the center front, which you must have marked with something. Could be a chalk, could be a snip. I confirmed again that the entire opening amounted to 7 1/4 inches, and I stitched them together at the top and the sides and parts of the bottom, leaving the neck part open. After sewing and turning inside out and pressing, it looks like this. I connected the neck opening to one side of the collar of the dress and I stitched. I cut up the seam allowance into pieces so that the collar could lay nice and flat, and I pressed. After this, I folded the other side beneath, and from the top I stitched in the ditch. And now it's time to show you what I made, but first, an unsolicited disclosure about underwears. If you're wondering where the bra is, I'm actually wearing it for besties. Don't forget to like and share this video. It would mean the world to me. Not like you should care, but just be nice. Also, subscribe to my channel and click on the link on your screen right now to watch Ankara Looks 1 to 4. Lastly, what do you want to see me make in Look 6? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.